I'm Karen Burniston, the designer of Pop-It-Ups dies for Elizabeth Craft Designs, and today I am here with a tutorial for how to make this pop-up mummy card. This one is going to use the Lorna label pop-up die with a technique for doubling it and then adding an extra platform for the mummy. This is my card for the September 2014 Designer Challenge, which has a theme of spooky September, so the whole team has made really awesome pop-up Halloween cards. You can see them all on the Elizabeth Craft Designs blog. Okay, let's start with a quick refresher on the Lorna label, number 915, how you would use it in the usual manner. You line up the alignment nubs with the fold of any size card, any shape card, anything that'll fit in your machine. And after die cutting, you just need to get in there and work that little box at the bottom of the pop-up. And I like to just use my fingers to kind of pinch the folds. Then I go all the way up to the back wall and I find where that thing is attached to the back wall, work those two folds, and from there it's pretty easy just to fold the whole pop-up card flat. Once you folded it, it goes into a backing card, and then you have this cool little pop-up, and you can decorate both of those platforms using some of the decorator dies that come with it, or of course anything else you would choose. Doubling the Lorna is also very simple. I'm going to start here for my card today with a 5-inch wide by 11-inch long piece of paper scored in the middle for folding, so it'll fold up to be a 5 by 5.5. I'm still aligning the alignment nubs right over the center fold of the card. And then for my card today, I'm going to add an extra technique, which is to create a tall, skinny box platform to animate my mummy. And for that, I'm going to measure 1 3/4 inches from the center line of the card, so that's where the alignment nubs are, and I'm going to sink in the slot die that comes with the Lucy label pop-up die. Okay, here's the grand secret for getting a double. Just fold the card under so that you're actually cutting right into a folded card instead of an open card. When that rolls through the machine, what it'll do is it will cut the pop-up, and in this case also the slot, right through both layers. And check first and see if the slot went through both. If the slot went through both, then most likely all the rest of it went through both as well. Okay, after you've removed the dies carefully from your card, you can see that the slot went right through both layers, and the pop-up actually went right through both layers as well. But both layers are mechanical, so what it ended up doing is just doubling your pop-up. So when you open that, you'll see you've got a pop-up on one side of the card and a pop-up on the other side of the card. And working it is very similar to what you do with a single Lorna. It's always a good idea to learn the center fold in both directions, get your thumbs or fingers into the box at the bottom, and work those little folds that create that box. So I've got that fold and the fold on the other side. Then I like to go all the way up to the back wall. Where does that label touch the back wall? And give that a little bit of a pinch. Flip the card around. Where does the other side touch the back wall? Go find that fold, give it a little pinch, and now from here you should be able to carefully get those pop-ups coming into the card and close the entire card. Now, how easy was that? It's very easy, very dynamic pop-up, an easy extra technique to use with the Lorna label. You can have it be a vertical card like I'm going to do today or a horizontal card. And just like any of the general pop-it-ups, you will need a backing card. You just need a tape runner on the pop-up card to attach that inside a backing card. And always just do one half and then the other. I'm a big fan of getting the fold right down in the fold and then kind of working the back wall up the side of the card. Then I flip the entire card over, put my tape runner on the other side, and repeat the process. The next step is going to be to add that extra platform I was talking about. That's what those slots are for. So I'm taking 2 3/8 of an inch by 9-inch long strips of black cardstock and I'm gluing them together. And I'm doing this just so that I have a durable platform. It's going to be pretty tall, and so I want it to be very durable, especially because it has to hold up my mummy embellishment. Now once I get those 2 strips glued together, then I'm going to fold the strip in half. Once again, make myself a really good crease, and then each half is going to get folded in half again. So I'm going to open it up and bring each end into the center and work the fold. And what I'm creating here is just a simple little box platform. So let me slide this box platform into the card so you can see how it's going to operate. Basically, the two tails are going to attach right to the bottom of the card, right to the back of the card, with the other two platforms coming out into the card like a box. And you'll see that they will open and close and create a nice, tall, skinny platform for the mummy. But one thing is I really don't need those really long sections to attach to the back of the card and the side or the bottom of the card. I really just need enough to hold some glue or a glue dot. For my card today, I'm going to go ahead and use some liquid glue. That gives me a little bit of time to move things if I need to. And I am a big fan of my fine line bottle, and I've got mine filled with Scotch Quick Dry adhesive. So here I'm going to dot a little bit on one of the little feet. That foot is going to go right down through that slot and attach to the bottom of the card. What you want is that platform should be coming up vertical when the card is at 90 degrees. So that'll help you with your placement. Just get in there. I use my finger and hold it until the glue dries. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to add a little adhesive to that little foot. That needs to go right through the slot and attach to the back wall. Usually for this one, it's okay to do the close the card to kind of determine the position. And then you just may have to just kind of zhuzh it a little bit and hold it until the glue dries. And there you have it, your extra little platform inside the double Lorna. Now I decided I wanted to wallpaper the back wall of the card. So what I've done is I've taken a 6x6 piece of pattern paper and lined up the alignment nubs of the Lorna right on the edge of the paper. And then all I have to do after die cutting is use my detail scissors to go in there and remove all of the pop-up parts. So I'm just left with all of the back wall for the wallpaper. And the reason I started with a 6x6 is that it would be larger than the back wall. And that way I don't have to worry that I've lined up the Lorna exactly in the same position as I did on the black card, because it's going to be bigger. After I glue it into place, I can just use my scissors and trim off all the extra paper. Now, as you can imagine, anything could go on those platforms, but for today's card, I am going to fashion Chili the Penguin as a mummy. And I'm starting first by, I've die cut all the pieces for Chili, and I wasn't sure first if I wanted to use white eyeballs with bloodshot red markings or yellow eyes, so I cut them both, but I think I have decided to go ahead and use the bloodshot eyes. And then as I assemble Chili, I'm going to put the detail layer over the shadow layer, but I have not used any adhesive under the wings. And that way I can raise those wings up so he'll be, you know, coming at you quite menacingly with his arms up in the air, as mummies tend to do. So I'm just going to fold up those two wings so that they're up and out of the way. Now my next step is to go ahead and add the eyes and the little beak piece. My Elizabeth Craft Designs detail tweezers can be very, very helpful for placing little items like this. I'm not going to put the feet on the penguin yet because I'd actually like to wrap those feet in some of the bandages. What I'm using for bandages are just pieces of ribbon that have been cut up into little pieces. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking my detail scissors, and since I've raised the wings up, I'm going to go ahead and adjust the shadow layer so that it just leaves a little border of white around his new, more hourglass svelte body type underneath there. Not that you're going to really see any of the white because it's going to be wrapped in mummy bandages, but nonetheless, I'm just, for accuracy's sake, I'm going to go ahead and have that little white shadow around all of Chili. Okay, now comes the fun part, to take all those little thin strips of ribbon and just wrap Chili up until he becomes a mummy. And the way I'm securing the ribbon is I've just got the back of the penguin just kind of coated with adhesive. It'll all pretty much get covered anyway in the process of wrapping the penguin, so I don't really have to worry about stray adhesive. And that makes it much easier when the bandages will just stick to the back of the penguin. And then the last little thing is I wrapped up his little feet, and then I'm using little mini glue dots to attach those onto his body. So there you go, one kind of creepy looking Chili mummy. Now when you're using a tall skinny platform like that, you're definitely going to want your adhesive on the platform. So you see my mini glue dots right up that skinny platform. And then I'm going to lay Chili down in front of the platform and press the platform against the back of the mummy. And that way I know that I've given it enough room essentially for it to fold up because I've attached it in the flat position. And then when I open the card, you're going to see that the mummy's going to stand right up. I thought a couple fence pieces using the house pivot card would be a great embellishment across the front of that platform. So I used the die to cut a couple fences And then I'm just using glue dots behind the fences, and I trimmed them down to where I just had 4 fence posts on each side, and then attached them right to the front of that platform. Okay, I die cut a yellow circle to be the moon and just add a little ink around the edges. And then I happened to find this bat. I'd actually die cut it using an electronic machine about a year ago, and it was just sitting on my desk, so I threw it up there on the moon. And then I've die cut a couple of the All Seasons tree dies and stamped them with some silver spider webs. And now the back 2 were easy. I just attached them to the various platforms of the card. But I wanted to add a third one that was out there floating somewhere in the middle of the bottom Lorna label. And so that requires another slot. So had I known at the beginning that I wanted to put it there, I probably could have used the slot die, but now my card is already assembled, so I have to rough cut myself a slot using my detail scissors. And then as far as attaching the tree, I just need a little foot at the bottom. So I'm going to fold under a little foot at the bottom of the tree. That's what's going to attach to the base of the card. And then I just need a little mini glue dot on the base of that tree. And then I'll just slide that right down through the slot and onto the base of the card. And then I can open and close that, just kind of check the placement, make sure it's working correctly. And there you have it, my finished little tree decorations, 2 of which are attached to the back platforms and 1 of which is through a slot. Now my final bit of decorations, I just added some pattern paper and a greeting across the bottom. And I raised that pattern paper up a little bit on Pop Dot so that I had room to slide some magnets in the corners. Since I had so many layers and thickness to this card, I thought it might be nice to hide some magnets. I also hid some under my front decoration. You can see one right there in the corner as I close it. All I did on the front of the card was some more pattern paper, washi tape, and a piece of ribbon that says Happy Halloween. Your best bet for information, if you're looking to know where to buy these dies, is to check the About box here on YouTube, just right below the video. It'll give you a link to the blog post where you can check out all of the other design team creations for Spooky September. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, I hope that you will subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page, Karen Burniston Designer. You can find out buying information for the dies at ecraftdesigns.com and more pop-up ideas on my blog, karenburniston.com. Thanks for watching.